welcome to RegularTech, the only show on YouTube I made because our Google robot overlords told me to, and probably you're watching because the YouTube algorithm overlords told you to, but anyway, today we're going to be looking at the Samsung Galaxy Buds, see how they stack up to the Sony WF-1000XM3s. Let's get to it. So today we're doing a quick comparison between the original Samsung Galaxy Buds and the Sony WF-1000XM3s. So I got these as a pre-order with my Galaxy S10. So I've been using them about a year. So I'm fairly familiar with them. And these are of course for a pre-order bonus with the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. So I've been using them about a month and a half. So big picture, these are, I think they retailed $120, $130 when new. These MSRP'd for $230. Not sure what these are going for now, probably a little less. You can usually pick these up for $170 to $180, so they've gone down a little bit. So on to specs, the buds are good off a single charge for about 6 hours, and then the Sonys are good for 6 to 8 hours, depending on if you have noise canceling off or on. And the charger will give you another 3 or 4 charges, so about another 24 hours. The buds, and about the same for the Sonys. It's either 18 or 24, again depending on if you're using noise canceling. You get about 2 hours less per charge if you use noise canceling. Both of these have some form of ambient sound. These have ambient awareness and then kind of a quick ambient feature you can use to hone in on someone and talk to you to take the buds out. These have adaptive ambient control, so you can either set the level or it will decide automatically what it thinks you should be using depending on what you're doing. So this is has USB Type-C for charging. It also has wireless charging. This is only USB Type-C charging, no wireless, even though that thing is ginormous. Both of these are Bluetooth 5.0. These weigh 0.2 ounces, I believe. These are 0.3 ounces, so they're heavier, and you can definitely tell these definitely feel heavier. The Samsung Galaxy Buds have IPX2 water resistance. They can take a splash, maybe a little bit more, but they're not too secure for, you don't dunk them in the water. The Sonys have no protection, so definitely be careful how you use those. So for battery, I would say the Buds and the Sony both meet what they say. Like, I've never had an issue with either of them dying sooner, and I can definitely, but I don't think I've ever used them more than 3, maybe 4 hours on a charge, but I didn't have any issues. So definitely meet the rated light. For the Buds, as far as comfort, these are very comfortable. They're obviously small and light. They fit in your ear and they're very unobtrusive. I will say, even though these come with lots of different pads and they even have these wingtips that go around, I don't find them to be terribly secure with the tips in that I find comfortable. The ones I find less comfortable are definitely more secure, and they're absolutely secure if you use the wingtips, but I didn't find those comfortable either. So your mileage may vary. I don't know if I have particularly sensitive ears, but that is an issue I ran into. The Sonys are definitely heavier. I find them to be comfortable, however. But you will definitely notice, and as you can see, there's a fairly large size difference, and these are kind of like a lot of earbuds in that they stick out a lot, whereas these actually nestle quite well into your ear, so they're quite unobtrusive. Of course, these have magnets, so they click in nice. Love that sound. So for sound, they're both very good. The Samsungs have good isolation, even with the tips that I have on there that aren't the most secure. You get good isolation. Like I mow the yard wearing these and don't have an issue. Obviously I turn off the ambient sound when I do that, but it's still fine. The Sonys have very good sound, and they of course have active noise canceling, so they're really great for mowing the yard. And overall, the Samsungs have very good clear sound. I have no issues with them. The bass is definitely lacking compared to the Sonys. In fact, I found if I turn the bass up like all the way, I'll get distortion on these, whereas on the Sonys, they don't distort. Not that it's a huge difference. The Sonys definitely have more bass, but it's not like it's gonna explode your eardrums or anything. So my quick impression is overall that the Sonys are better. Are they, you know, $100 better? Probably not, unless you need noise canceling. Now looking how the app works, let's see how we go here on my start with the buds. So here's the app for the Galaxy Buds. It's very easy to use. As soon as you log in, it'll tell you what the battery percentage is. You've got equalizer, bass, boost, soft, dynamic. I keep it on dynamic. It works very well. Clear and treble boost. It'll read notifications. You can, again, tell it what you want to see, what you don't want to see or hear. You can turn ambient sound on, and this is configurable. It's got a slider. I didn't super care for this ambient sound, even on, I couldn't find a good middle ground. As you see, I have it pretty much in the middle, and you can generally hear people, and it's not that bad. But if you turn it up so you can really hear people, you just hear too much noise, so it doesn't work even with the voice focus as well as it does on the Sony. So for the touchpad, these are configurable. I normally have the left and right for volume up and down, and of course you can hit them to hit the track, find the previous track, and then you can, for the hold, you can set it to do what's called a quick ambient sound. You basically put your finger on there, and you can, if you don't have ambient sound on, it'll turn on while you have your finger on there, so you can hear people talking to you. The touch pads on these are easy to hit on accident. Like I said, when I'm using these, because of the earbuds, again, this might be my issue, the earbuds are quite, I won't say quite loose, but they're not confidence inspiring as far as how snug they fit. They're very comfortable, but if you shake your head, you can definitely dislodge them. I did run with these and work out, so I wouldn't say it's like a huge issue. And again, it might be just my ear shape. However, when you're trying to get them snug again, because they're actually so small, it's very easy to hit the touchpad. On the Sonys, the touchpad is right in the middle, so it's actually a lot easier because you can grab the big part if you feel like you need to adjust them. So I definitely prefer ergonomically as far as the adjustments on the Sonys. They feel bigger. The weight is there, so that may be a negative if you want the really, really light ones. So keep that in mind. As far as the app for the Sonys, I have to pull them out. These do have LEDs on them. So when you pull them out, every time they'll tell you what their battery level is at, which is honestly kind of annoying because I assume coming out of the case they're charged. Maybe it's useful, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's not my favorite, and if I could turn it off, I will. Haven't looked. So you get quite a bit of customization here, and they'll even analyze your ear shape. Like it'll take a picture, and then there's some apps you can essentially do their 360 audio reality. And the only thing I see is this 360 by Deezer, Nugs.NES, and Tidal, none of which I use, so it wasn't super useful for me. But again, it is there. I would say there's definitely more features in the Sony app. For instance, you have all the way over to the left is noise canceling, and one thing I will say is the ambient sound on this is very good. It's very adjustable. Honestly, if you have it all the way to the right, it's like having a hearing aid. You'll feel like you have bionic hearing. But I found that I could hear better with these without cranking it so much that the noise around me was annoying. So in that sense, it's a little better than the Buds. Other than that, I don't think there's a huge difference in the codecs and whatnot they support. Like I don't think any of them support aptX. The Sony has some fancy stuff in there. And like I said, the sound, I would give the sound overall edge to the Sonys, but they're honestly very close outside of bass. And I'm not a huge bass person, so not a big deal for me. So like I said, final verdict is I actually really like these. They're very comfortable. And if you don't need noise canceling, I think these are a great solution. They definitely improved it with software over time. Same with the Sonys, like when these came out, you couldn't do volume control on the touchpads, and now you can. These are also obviously fully configurable as well. Like I have them for volume on the left side and then track control on the right side. Mind you, there's one trick the Sony absolutely loses at. Sorry, Sony. And that, my friends, is wireless charging, which not a deal breaker, but it's still very convenient. So if that's something you want, then the Samsungs are definitely great for that. So like I said, I'm happy with the Sonys. I don't know that I would pay $100 more for them. That's honestly a hard sell if you don't need noise canceling, but if it is a selling thing, you really can't go wrong. There are a lot of options at that price point, so you just gotta look around and see what fits in your budget. But for these, no issues. Again, there's a lot of good stuff now at like the $50 price range. So again, look at your options. If you get these for a deal, maybe go with it. All right, so once again, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.